Quincy Jones, the legendary music producer, composer, and arranger, has passed away. In this video, we explore the life and legacy of the iconic musician, as well as his relationships with his ex-wife, children, and family. From his groundbreaking work in the music industry to his personal life, we dive into the story of one of the most influential figures in entertainment history. Join us as we pay tribute to Quincy Jones and reflect on his contributions to music and culture. Quincy Jones' cause of death. On November 3, 2024, Jones died at his home in the Bel Air neighborhood of Los Angeles at the age of 91. His publicist confirmed his death. The cause of death was not immediately disclosed. Quincy Jones was an American record producer, songwriter, composer, arranger, and film and television producer. Born 1933, Chicago, Illinois. Died November 3, 2024, age 91 years. Bel Air, Los Angeles, California. Children: Rashida Jones, Kidada Jones, Quincy Jones III, Kenya Kinsky Jones, Jolie Jones Levine, Martina Jones. Spouse: Peggy Lipton, M. 1974–1990, Ola Jones, M. 1967–1974, Jerry Caldwell, M. 1957–1966. Songwriting partners: Michael Jackson, Peggy Lipton, C. Moore. Quincy Jones' net worth $500 million. Early life. Quincy Dwight Jones Jr. was born in the south side of Chicago on March 14, 1933, the elder of two sons to Sarah Frances, née Wells, 1904–1999, a bank officer and apartment complex manager, and Quincy Dwight Jones, 1895–1971, a semi-professional baseball player and carpenter from Charleston, South Carolina. Quincy Jr.'s paternal grandmother was an ex-slave from Louisville, and he later discovered that his paternal grandfather was Welsh. Jones said, "He had a baby with my great-grandmother, and my grandmother was born there." We traced this all the way back to the Laniers, the same family as Tennessee Williams. Learning that the Lanier immigrant ancestors were French Huguenots who had court musicians among their ancestors, Jones attributed some of his musicianship to them. For the 2006 PBS television program African American Lives, Jones had his DNA tested and genealogists researched his family history again. His DNA revealed he was mostly African, but also had 34% European ancestry on both sides of his family. Research showed that he had English, French, Italian, and Welsh ancestry through his father. His mother's side was of West and Central African descent, specifically from the Tikar people of Cameroon. His mother also had European ancestry, including Lanier male ancestors who fought for the Confederacy, making him eligible for membership in the Sons of Confederate Veterans. Among his ancestors was Elizabeth Washington Lewis, a sister of President George Washington. Jones's family moved to Chicago during the Great Migration. Jones had a younger brother, Lloyd, who was an engineer for the Seattle television station KOMO TV until his death in 1998. Jones was introduced to music by his mother, who always sang religious songs, and next-door neighbor Lucy Jackson. When Jones was 5 or 6, Jackson played stride piano next door, and he would listen through the walls. Jackson recalled that after he heard her one day, she could not get him off her piano. When Jones was young, his mother had a schizophrenic breakdown and was sent to a mental institution. His father divorced her and married Elvira Jones, who already had 3 children, Waymond, Teresa, and Catherine. Elvira and Quincy Sr. had 3 more children together, Jeanette, Margie, and Richard. The family moved to Bremerton, Washington, in 1943. Jones's father took a wartime job at the Puget Sound Naval Shipyard. After the war, the family moved to Seattle, where Jones attended Garfield High School and developed his skills as a trumpeter and arranger. His classmates included Charles Taylor, who played saxophone and whose mother, Evelyn Bundy, was one of Seattle's first society jazz band leaders. Jones and Taylor began playing music together, and at the age of 14 they played with a National Reserve Band. Jones said he acquired more experience with music growing up in a smaller city because of the lack of competition. Jones cited Ray Charles as an early inspiration for his own music career, noting that Charles overcame his blindness to achieve his musical goals. Jones credited his father's sturdy work ethic with giving him the means to proceed, and his loving nature with holding the family together. Jones cited his father's rhyming motto, "Once a task is just begun, never leave until it's done. Be the labor great or small, do it well or not at all." Jones earned a scholarship to Seattle University in 1951. After one semester, he transferred to what is now the Berklee College of Music in Boston on another scholarship, where he played at Izzy Ort's Bar and Grill with Bunny Campbell and Preston Sandiford, whom he cited as important influences. Career 1953 to 1959. Career beginnings with jazz music. In 1953, at age 20, Jones traveled with jazz bandleader Lionel Hampton for a European tour of the Hampton Orchestra. He said the tour changed his view of racism in the United States. It gave you some sense of perspective on past, present, and future. It took the myopic conflict between just black and white in the United States and put it on another level because you saw the turmoil between the Armenians and the Turks, and the Cypriots and the Greeks, and the Swedes and the Danes, and the Koreans and the Japanese. Everybody had these hassles, and you saw it was a basic part of human nature, these conflicts. It opened my soul, it opened my mind. After leaving the Hampton Band in 1954, Jones settled in New York and started writing for anyone who would pay. In early 1956, he accepted a temporary job at CBS's stage show hosted by Jimmy and Tommy Dorsey that was broadcast live from Studio 50 in New York City, known today as the Ed Sullivan Theater. On January 28, February 4, 11 and 18, as well as on March 17 and 24, Jones played second trumpet in the studio band that supported 21-year-old Elvis Presley in his first 6 television appearances. Presley sang Heartbreak Hotel, which became his first No. 1 record and the Billboard magazine Pop Record of the Year. Soon after, as a trumpeter and musical director for Dizzy Gillespie, Jones went on tour of the Middle East and South America sponsored by the United States Information Agency. After returning, he signed a contract with ABC Paramount and started his recording career as the leader of his band. In 1957, he moved to Paris, where he studied composition and theory with Nadia Boulanger and Olivier Messiaen and performed at the Paris Olympia. Jones became music director at Barclay, a French record company, and the licensee for Mercury in France.